Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on February 7th, 2024 at approximately 4:30 p.m. PST. Now, I've returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to find people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, I bill myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the exact same tools I personally use in my day-to-day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are the precise philosophies I guide my virtually every move by. With this in mind, I'm absolutely certain that these tools will work for you. Okay, because they have worked for you, for me, and for literally thousands of others, depending on their own personal levels of effort. With this in mind, on Positive Perceptions today, we are going to be looking at the lost art of communication. How does it affect your home and how does it affect your business? Now, many of you know what this is, but before I get into that, two things I got to deal with. Needless to say, I always forget something. So, hopefully that solves that problem. Okay, now, before I get into anything, let's see what we got here. Eyeballs first. I really should get these glasses changed. What do you think? Now, let us see. We have Preacher in here with the gold. We have Chad. Well, where do we go? We have Chad Smith in with the silver. And this is the link. Give me half a second. Where are we? Not there. There we go. This is the link to Chad's archives. Absolutely drop in. Now, where are we? There we are. Now, absolutely drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give him a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of the thing. Now, we've got Chad in. Well, let's get that out of the way just because of the fact it's annoying where it is. Okay, then we have, hey. I was going to say something and I just completely scrambled on me. There we go. I'm always having fun with computers in case you couldn't tell. Okay, then we have Nick Adkins. You are in with this and with the bronze. Nick, glad you could join us. And we have Storm and Shadow in with the honorable mention, and L.A. Moonian right behind her. They're right behind him. And thank you very much, Storm. I still have to sit down and figure out how to post that in the actual room, but working on it. Okay, very simply put, I live by 3 laws. And if you compare any of the laws you follow, whether they are religious, whether they are political, upbringing, support group, doesn't matter. Take a look at them. Okay. And I will, and quite frankly, I suspect very strongly that what you will find is that any one of the laws you follow fit inside the 3 I follow. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. And energy out, energy in. Okay, now each one of those laws is equally important to the next. Oh, that's what I did with my pen. Now, and yeah, Storm has just popped up here. Something that will get you popped out of here without even a question. Okay, there won't be time for an explanation. Okay, you're entitled to your own belief. Absolutely, whatever you believe in. I've been very clear with people. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. That's as far as I go with it. You can believe what you will. I'm not here to convert anybody, and nobody is here to convert anybody. unless they're planning on getting evicted, which will happen really quickly courtesy of my moderators. Okay, same applies with the play with politics. We touch on it very little, but never look at, oh, this political party is better than that one. Frankly, if any political party were better than the next, quite frankly, we wouldn't have the mess we're dealing with. Okay, and this all pulls into the same thing with communication lines, which we'll get to momentarily here. Okay, the other one that'll get you tossed in a hurry, because this one just annoys me, is literally stating anybody's opinion is wrong. Now, as we discovered a little while ago, Joe, glad you can make it. As we discovered a little while ago, I make mistakes. Oh my Lord, I'm not perfect. Okay, I was under the impression myself that Sasquatch was Gigantopithecus. It has been proven beyond that it is not. However, this being said, I'm not above admitting I'm wrong. Okay, but my opinion cannot be wrong. The facts you make that you are basing your opinion on certainly can be incomplete, or they can be incorrect. Okay, but your opinion of those facts cannot be. Now, here's the thing. When I talk about the lost art of communication, in case you hadn't noticed by the title in here, I apparently can't type that well yet, or I just don't pay attention to some things. But the whole kicker to it is this. Okay, if we take a look at Westerns and Western community, okay, the Western society, the method of communication seems to work this way. Okay, it literally seems to work. Take the CEO or the owner. They hire a manager, so they tell the manager what they desire. The manager turns around, tells the assistant manager. It goes down through department heads until 10, 15 levels later, you're down on the main floor. Now, do you guys by any chance remember, Skip, how you doing? I think we all remember Skip. How you doing there, Skip the Malou? Okay, when you were going to school, especially in kindergarten class, did you ever play a game called The Broken Telephone or something to that effect? Where the teacher would put a statement, and she'd write a statement out on a sheet of paper, and she'd turn around, okay, and she'd turn around and whisper the question, and whisper the statement into the ear of the first child. All the kids in the class are lined up down the way. And all they had to do was take that message and whisper it to the next person in line. What came out the other end is absolute garbage comparatively. Just to give you an idea of how bad it can get, the teacher says, Bob picked up the black cat, right? And somewhere along the line, it gets twisted around. By the time you get out the other end, it's Bob, it's Bob bought ice cream from the neighbor. Okay, now that's a bit extreme, but you do get the idea. This is why that method of communication doesn't work. This is why so many companies I talk to are having trouble. Because Eastern philosophy, at least it used to be 20 years ago, I don't know if it still is. But even Eastern, we'll try English. Eastern philosophy used to be a question of the CEO would come down to the floor, down to the broom pusher and go, okay, this is what I require. This is what I'm targeting. So what do you need for me to get there? Okay. Now, this cuts out all the confusion. They go straight to the ground floor and go, this is what I'm looking for. Now, it's this philosophy that I am implementing in my own company. Okay, and this is why I say, like right now we are at 596 subscribers. So we are inching closer, closer and closer closer and closer to that 600 mark. Eric's just adding, he remembered the game. Oh, Skip and Blue called it the rumor effect game. There we go. Eric goes, I had no idea what the person to my left said, so I made up something to pass it on to the person to my right. And unfortunately, that right there, preacher, is precisely what happens in modern business. Okay, they turn around and it's like, well, I don't know what you really want, so I'm just going to make up my own rules. Now, when I got my first job, I come right out and told my boss that I was making up my own rules, and told him flat out, he and his supervisor, when they could get along, talked to me. Until then, I was making my own rules. Why I didn't get fired, I have no idea. But if you're aiming at changing your life, and this, if you understand something, if you run a business or a house, it's the same thing. Your house is your business. Okay. And you still have to have the proper rules in. Yeah. LA goes, I played it at 6 and no desire to play again. Yeah, absolutely, Joe. But the nice thing about it, and I'm not going to say, but absolutely, Joe, if you want to bring the people up to speed, absolutely do. Because it's that sort of thing that we're looking for. We really do desire to see people's life change for the better. Now one of the things I'm looking at, and I think, just to put things in perspective here, let me just work something out. Grab my pad of paper and my strap, and away we go. I'm just doing a quick head count here. Is that actually it? Yep, that is. Okay. Right now, just to bring people up to speed, because I keep getting asked periodically by people. Okay. I keep getting asked by people, oh, can I be a moderator? Well, here's the thing for all of you guys. Okay. We've only got 596 people in here. Okay. And that's only in the subscriptions. That's not in the chat room. So right now, I got 7, I think. Okay, right now, we have seven moderators in the room. I'm capping it there unless one of you guys vanishes, and then I may have to find another one. But before that if that doesn't happen, we won't see another moderator until we break 800. Yeah, LA goes, one of the big rules in my office was leave the gossip at the door. Absolutely based on the experience. Yeah, one of the ways I heard about that whole rumor side of things was, before you pass on information, number one, is it going to help me run my business? Number two, does it have any beneficial effect? Yeah, Joe's just adding in, is just popping in. As you heard, I told him flat out to I told him flat out, let me bring us up to speed. Joe's guides had gone silent for a bit. Okay. But things are shifting for him. And we'll just see how much he wants to pop out. But when you look at communication, number one, there's a big problem with texting. There's no inflection that goes with it. Texting and email, some of us can pick up the energy behind it as well. But on the whole, texting and email don't give the inflection, therefore a lot of information gets scrambled. Okay, this is why I say, when you're dealing with people, number one, absolutely be clear. Okay, if you've got something that needs doing, if you run a business, absolutely go to the broom pusher. You go to the broom pusher, ask them what they require to do their job properly. Ask the dishwasher what they require, because these guys are the people they are the backbone of a company. Okay, in the hospitality industry, if you don't have a dishwasher, if you don't have a qualified dishwasher, your restaurant is going to tank. Steve, how you doing? Glad you could join us. The reality of it is, if you desire your life to change for the better, you're the one that's going to have to do it. And I'm overheating here, which is just annoying. So let's pick this up and get my fan put where I can actually feel it. What people have forgotten, okay, at least seem to have forgotten, is that in order to make your world work, you're the one that's got to make it happen. Now, as I've mentioned, if you haven't done so already, literally take a sheet of paper and put a list of 12 things together. At this point, we are now into February, so you're down to 11. Okay? You're down to 11 things to get completed before the end of the year. Okay? Now I've got 12 on my list, 2 are gone. This, by the way, this right here is the blanket I am working on. Now, it's only about half as wide as I require it. So that's it right now. I got a lot of work to do. But, again, it boils down to deciding what you desire with your life. Now, where it comes to communicating, the first thing you have to do. What do we got here? Oh, Skip's going sailing. Oh, there we are. The reality is, whatever you desire to change, be clear. Talk to the people directly that you require to get things done for you. Now, the kicker to it is this. I'm technologically challenged. Okay? And massive problems tangling with government. So, when I go to deal with them, I found somebody I could trust to actually handle it, so I don't have to. And I'll tell you, it makes it so much easier. But there's an old saying that goes, "No man is an island unto themselves." Okay, and the reason that's said is because nobody has all of the abilities that are required. My shortfall is very clearly in technology and dealing with the paperwork side of it. So I'm finding the people that can help. Now, with that in mind, it really boils down to sitting down and going, this is what I require. And this is why I said, with regards to the moderators, I'm not adding anymore for quite a while. Yeah, Skip's going, be proud enough to stand alone, but have a buddy in your back. And the reality of it is this. Okay, when you're aiming at making your life better, if you choose to make other people's lives better at the same time, okay, all the more power to you. One of the things we have to remember is that when you're looking at things that are changing, okay, communication is the key. And quite often, especially if you're going into a meeting of some form, and bear in mind, when I'm talking a meeting, I mean, let's say, in my case, let's say I've got to talk to my boys who both live with me about changes I feel are necessary. Making crib notes. Okay, term from college. Here we go. Joe's going now. I put some crazy thought into this before coming on. The younger female spirit guide, could she possibly be the older female spirit? The answer to that is yes, but watch for the feeling that comes behind it. Okay, watch for the feeling that you get while she's talking. And because it'll be a sense, the easiest way to tell Joe is it'll be a sense of familiarity that comes to light with that speech. Okay, so is it possible? Certainly. Is it necessary? No. What have we got here? Ellie's going, I can't possibly know everything my friends do, but I'm real qualified to ask. We're ahead of the game. Yeah, very definitely. And, I'm not good with the political correctness. I mean, I'm absolutely politically correct. Whenever I talk politics, my opinion is correct. And that's about as far as it goes. Oh, what do we got? Skip goes, I found water in the ceiling in my shed yesterday. My safe space for peeps in need when cleaned. Tomorrow I'll have to climb up to the roof and see the damage, and hopefully, whether you see the damage or not, dry it out a little. I mean, unfortunately, there are people that do require help. And, like I told a chap I was talking to on the coast today, he was talking about opening a nonprofit organization. I'm like, not going to happen. Okay. The key is in the words nonprofit. I've done most of my life. I've done nothing where it comes to finances. I really should have. But the magazine, the newsletter I've got out, Positive Perspectives, that is 100% free. Okay. As is Positive Perceptions, this stream. And they will remain so. So all in all, we really have to look at this world and go, okay, what can we do to change it for the better for virtually everybody? The key to it is start opening up your mouth and communicate. Start talking to the people around you. If something is a boundary you don't desire crossed, there's no right or wrong. If you don't desire that boundary crossed, do not let other people cross it. In other words, you literally tell them, this is a boundary. Okay. I heard of one situation where someone was in, they had done some work and somebody else asked if they could make it public. Okay. Well, the individual came to me and goes, am I being wrong to say don't make it public? It was really personal to me. I looked at him and went, no, absolutely not. You created it. It's your right whether or not it gets into the open. And this is precisely why when people ask me, well, who said such and such? Not going to tell you. Unless if the police show up and they say, hey, I've got, we need to know this. I'm going to look at the police and go, here's the information. Okay. Am I going to tell anybody else? No, not going to happen. And yes, that'll upset some people, but I get over it pretty quick. And I do have to check something here. Just have to drop a quick note because, quite frankly, it's something that's very important from my standpoint. And yes, I realize I'm live. one of the biggest things is I won't, I will not reveal information for anybody that I'm not legally bound to. It's just not going to happen. What do we got? Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately there, LA, sometimes we have to call in a specialist. This is why I like living in the apartment I'm in. I have a problem, I phone my landlord up and go, here's the scoop. He comes down and fixes it. Okay. Where it comes to computers, I get on the horn and talk to Frank and go, here's the mess. And he comes and sorts it out. I don't have the stress around it. Because from my way of thinking, that is a rather necessary issue. You forgot, didn't you? I always like people that phone me that I don't have to talk to right away. But when we take a look at this, put your boundaries in place so that you're content with them. I'm going to finish this off and get back to things. Now I believe that's it. So again, the one thing we got to remember, when you're talking to somebody, first and foremost, even if you've got a problem with self-esteem, even if you've got a problem with self-esteem, do your best to look the person in the eyes. Okay. And rest assured, okay, something that many people forget, okay, is that the eyes are situated right below the forehead. Okay. For those of you that haven't figured it out, when you're trying to talk to somebody, remember the eyes are between the forehead and the nose. That's where the eyes are. I know it's basic anatomy, but you'd be amazed how many people I talk to that can't figure that out. Now, here's a neat little piece of it. Like I said, where it comes to communication, absolutely make certain if you're talking about somebody else, okay, make certain they have given you direct permission to do so. Okay, do not just take it for granted that, oh, I can tell everybody this. I heard it, therefore I'm allowed to tell it. You may have heard it. You may know what's going on in some ways, but everybody holds secrets in one form or another. Okay. Like there are things that have gone on in my past, and rest assured, if I have anything to say about it, they'll die with me. Even my kids don't know what I've been through. Not all of it. But the art of communication is very simple. Take as many middlemen out of the conversation as you can get away with. That way you can eliminate a lot of problems. Oh. Yeah, and I agree with you wholeheartedly there, LA. LA goes, I have trouble with looking into the eyes. I tend to hear and see more than I'm intended to. Maybe more than they intend you to, but the people that know you, okay, the people that know you, number one, it eliminates a lot of subterfuge. I've run into the same problem myself. Okay, I still recommend looking into the eyes, but as the saying goes, do what you will. And what we got? Yeah, well, and Skip, when I say do your best, there is not a corporeal there's not a sentient that I know about that hasn't made some mistake somewhere along the way, a misgauge, a slipped word, whatever. Okay, the trick is to do your best. That is all anybody can reasonably assess. Okay, but if you're running a business, okay, if you're running a household and you require the kids to do something, talk to them directly. If you're running a business, okay, you as the owner, yes, absolutely let the manager know what you're up to. But don't be afraid. You're the owner. Do not be afraid to go down to the people on the floor and go, how is your job going? This is what I'm trying to do. What do you require for me to do this? Okay. And remember the old axiom. An honest day's pay for an honest day's work. Okay. With that in mind, you pay your staff decently, they'll stick around. If you pay them decently and treat them decently, they'll stick around. But everybody, whether we are talking about a homeowner, a business owner, an employee, doesn't matter. Everybody I've ever run into desires security. They desire a roof over their head, and they desire to be treated decently. Unfortunately, this is not a common commodity. And yeah, I'm just looking at this, Skip. Skip says I run into a problem when I'm in fight or flight mode. Okay, or flight or fight. And honestly, I agree with you. When push comes to shove, you do what you have to and sort it out later. I remember watching Family Feud one day. Right, or no, Price is Right. And I'm watching Price is Right. So I'd seen the show a number of times, but I was actually working for a company called Stop the Violence. And I phoned the Texas, and we were phoning Texas at the time. And this woman that I phoned, we were looking to just stop the violence, right, amongst teenagers. And I kid you not, this woman goes, I'm a staunch Christian, and well, can't we just spay or neuter them all? And I'm sitting there going, I think you might be watching a little too much Price is Right. Kate, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Now the neat part about it, like I was looking at that going, okay, that might be a little overkill. I said it would stop a lot of it, but it's going to create a massive problem with the next generation, as in it's not going to exist. Sadly, there are times, but we'll leave that thought unfinished. One of the biggest things that we have to look at, okay, when you're looking at striving to get your point across so you can get things to happen. Okay. And that is, you've got to get clear in your head. Communication starts here. Well, it starts in the upper levels, but it's a question of taking that thought, get it to the brain. You can work on it logically. When your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, you can achieve it. And one of the key factors with communication is you gotta learn to listen to your own instincts before you start trying to pick everybody else's brain would be an idea. But again, it boils down to talking to people that have done what you're aiming to do, but they've done it successfully. Like, don't talk to me about how to become a millionaire. Okay, I can tell you what I've told people to improve their own financial flow because I've done it myself. I've never been a millionaire yet. Okay, but I will tell you I figured out how to do it. And this is where talking to you guys comes in handy. But the one thing we have to remember is when you're communicating, it's absolutely critical that you have an idea. Where is? I think that's what I'm looking for. I gotta go through this now. But remember I mentioned I had a corporate folder that laid out the different superstructure? That would be this one. You'll notice you won't be able to read it well, but there you go. Inner Voice Enterprises corporate structure. This contains and will contain, I'm going through it now. It's taking me forever to find the thing again. But one of the things I look at, this has a whole pile of information. That's book ads, that's necessary. I'm just looking at some of the paperwork that I've done. One of the things with communication is this. If you're running a business or a household, doesn't matter. A policy book or a book of operations and procedures. Absolutely put one together, even for your own personal life. The reason for that is the more organized you are, the better off you're going to be and the more successful you're gearing yourself up to be. It just depends on how much effort and how much focus you're going to put into becoming the best version of you can manage. And yes, absolutely. If you're having trouble figuring out where to start, absolutely drop me a line. Pop the question into the chat room. There's no problem. I will do my best to answer it. I need eyeballs. I have trouble with the trust thing to start with, but I may know it by a different name there, Skip. Skip's just asking, do you know the trust circle? Okay. If you can give me an idea in brief, that would be really handy. But if you're talking about the neat little trust where you fall backward into somebody's arms, that's a disaster for me. Okay. Because even if I catch the person, the odds are the shark's going to pop my leg. Not a lot of fun. Where are we here? With you in the center, whom do you trust? Oh, in situations. Oh, okay. That's a real small group of people for me. But there's a lot of reasons for that. And what Skip is saying is you put yourself in the middle of the paper and you write down who you actually trust. Okay. Find out how many people you literally trust, which is really kind of a weird thing. I mean, it's an excellent program, an excellent idea. Yeah, and Skip's going, it changes throughout the year in my life. See, for me, I've got a simple little problem. My dad actually put it really simple. He goes, it takes a lifetime to build trust. It takes a split second to destroy it. See, my instincts I trust. I know full well I've got a stubborn streak a mile and a half wide. And this is why when I was talking to a gentleman, I was talking to him just today, and he asked if I've incorporated. I looked at him and I said, no. I said, there's no point to it to start with, not at my level. And the second issue I talked to him about is there is no my own company. Now, a board of advisors, absolutely. Yeah, LA goes, I think this falls under know thyself. Absolutely, it does. Okay, it also falls under that other one. Be true to yourself first. Know what you're looking for. Know what your boundaries are. Know what you're willing to tolerate. Where it's easiest when you look at running an actual an actual recognized business where the owner comes in and goes, here's the way I'm running it. But if those rules do not apply to everybody, okay, and I should qualify that, everybody of the same station, if they don't apply to those people, to everybody equally, then you have a problem. Because all of a sudden your society will fracture. And if that new society doesn't have equal laws, it too will fracture. Give you an idea about how bad that can get? Take a look at the 45,000 denominations in the so-called unified Christian religion. Okay. Now, in my world, I treat everybody the same way. I mean everybody. I mean, if I'm talking to a child, I will literally start off by talking in adult terms. If they don't get it, just like with an adult, I will dummy down the language a little and help them grasp what I'm talking about. But everybody starts out on the same boat. And for me, that is one of the biggest things you have to look at. Okay, now where it comes to your own home, again, the more detailed you lay things out, the more you communicate, the better off you are. And what people have forgotten is everything that happens in your world is not common sense. Now, to be blunt about it, let's take a look at computers. Okay, and you look at my knowledge base and Nathan's or Frank's. Okay, and what they see as a simple issue could be common sense for them. Okay, for me, it's not. My eldest brother used to tell my mom all the time, "Oh, Sally, it's computers, Mom. They're easy," and she'd get frustrated, which I can understand. I finally looked at her one day and I went, "Mom, Kenny is right. Computers are easy once you know what they're doing." Okay, same thing for me where it comes to reading the way people are. Okay, for me, it's child's play to piece them together. But that doesn't mean I'm perfect. And unfortunately, I've got this idea that people are supposed to be decent people. Unfortunately, there are those whose intention is nothing but disruption. And this is why we bring the moderators in, to make certain the problem children are removed. Okay, now the only one they don't have the authority to remove, and knowing the people I've got sitting in moderator positions, some of them probably know how they could kick me out of my own show. Thankfully, I'm simply trusting them not to do that. But where it comes to getting things to change direction, you've got to be clear with what you're doing, with your intention. Why are you making that change? And I will warn you about one little detail. Money must remain a side effect, not a goal. Because as long as it remains a side effect, you have a very good shot at enhancing things. Okay, and yes, I do have a self-help book to handle that. Okay, and like I've mentioned, with any of the books I've written, this is the email to get a hold of me and to talk to me directly. Any one of them, any of you, drop me a line. If you'd like any one of the books I've written, the newsletter, which, by the way, the newsletter is absolutely free. And where is that other one? This, if you want to break down what the 7 books are that are already in print, this is the website that has all the information. Again, contacting me directly at the above email is the best way. Now, the prices I've listed on the website apply to Canada and the continental US. They may vary for other countries. However, I'm quite willing to ship to any country. Now, the reality of it is, when we take a look at the way the world is working, it is absolutely imperative that we turn around and go, okay, what am I contributing? Not what can the world do for me, but what can I do for the world? And you'll notice I said the world, I didn't say my country, because every one of you, doesn't matter to me what country you're all in a first world country. Okay. And the reason for that is because with the whole way we're looking at things, okay, with the way this world is going, we've got to put boundaries in place. And what the heck is going on? Actually, I know what's going on, but we're going to push through it anyway. When we're looking at communication, it's absolutely critical that we take a look. That we take a look at what you can pull off. Now, I was talking to a chap today. The positive perspectives is already global, but literally speaking, I do require your guys' assistance to make it something like a going concern. Okay, I've got right now, we've got 50. Oh, what is this? Somebody dropped me a message. I do try and keep an eye on these. Oh, there we go. Well, that works out. Eric, Preacher just popped in, just dropped me a note. He went and looked for it. Operation Deep Freeze was actually Antarctica. So, I mean, that goes back to the beginning of the conversation we were having. Okay, but what do we got? I have to go into here. Oh, okay. I'm just looking at this. Skip was talking about another operation was mentioned in the chat room a couple of hours ago. Of course, I wasn't watching another stream, but she's taking off for a bit. She'll be back. Okay. Other there. Oh, I do not know that one. Hopefully somebody in the chat room does know, Skip, but I have no idea what Project Caledonia is. But given the odd names tend to post on projects, it could be anything. Because usually they use a name that's completely unrelated, if only to draw people's attention away from the actual research of it. But the critical factor is, and Skip, much as I certainly appreciate the request. Okay. Earlier today, I made a very simple decision. Let me just double check here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have currently, we've only got 595 subscribers. Okay. I've got 7 moderators right now. Now, with that in mind, I will defer to the moderators, okay, and see what they have to say. As it stands right now, I'm not looking at adding any more moderators until I hit 8. Skip, I appreciate that. One small question. where are you sending it? Where are you? Because Skip saying that she's going to send us a picture of the comment. But where is it going? And that way I can take a look at it right away. The nice part about it, like I've got ideas in mind and plans in mind to make sure I stay on the path that I feel is going to work. Nathan, how we doing? I'm presuming this means you are absolutely swamped right now. Now, where are we? This is the Link to Nathan show. So, pop that up. Pop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give him a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and then share the daylights out of it. That'd be really appreciated. Okay, going there now there, Skip. Okay, let us take a peek. Yeah. Okay, for the moment it hasn't shown up, but let's see what happens when we refresh that. I'm just looking for the comment there, Skip. I love the speed my computer works on occasion. There we go. Oh. Okay, pulling it up. Let's see what we got. I may have too many things open for my own good. There we go. Oh. Well, I won't argue the point like that. I won't argue what was said. I will tell you this. That, to my way, that kind of a post there, Skip, the big problem I have with it is it boils down to fear. It may well be happening, but it's one of those things that I don't have any way of dealing with it. Yeah, it's in all fairness, it's not a question whether I trust her. I appreciate the offer there, Nathan, but it's a question of right now. I'll put it to you this way, guys. Okay, the reason I put a limit in there is simply a mathematical thing. But this is why I said, between you moderators, if you guys want to discuss, if you feel it's a good idea to have an extra one, absolutely let me know. Okay, I run on pure math a lot of the time because it's what makes sense. I've talked myself. I don't have a problem on that end. This is why I just had to look at it and go, okay, I have got 4. Is this actually going to work out? And it's not a slight against anybody. Oh, I don't doubt that at all there, Skip. That and I do appreciate you sending it because the reality is it does tell me what's going on in the world. The reason I don't repost things like that is there's all kinds of ways of having that information. But you have to ask, why did somebody post it? Is this actually something that's going on? Or is it like what happened in the chat room here, where we ended up with the trolls in here? I'm looking at it right now, and again, guys, if you like the stream, if you like the stream, do give it a thumbs up, do subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of it. Oh, yeah. Skip's going, I only ask hoping someone knows. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Joe, this is one of the things Dave, I haven't heard a lot of Dave's abductions, but he's got some fabulous little connections there. I will tell you, Skip, assuming that you're still in the chat room when we get upwards of the 800 people, okay, I am keeping tabs on who's here, who is doing what. Absolutely I am. But as it stands from my standpoint, it was actually bringing too many people. It was my haphazardly essentially going, oh, I know of this person, I know of that person. All of a sudden, everything went sideways, and we had trolls coming through the window, and I don't blame any of the moderators. Okay? I don't blame any of the people for that matter. What I do say is my stress level is, to say the least, kind of a big concern for me. Because let's face it, much as I'm trying to keep the stream going, I drop dead, I'm not doing it anymore. So from my standpoint, that's what I'm looking at. But I am watching who's in the room and going, okay, some of you I know, some of you I think I had as moderators before. But what I did when we had the troll attack is I went, okay, I'm just going back and I'm shearing everybody off. And even Frank LA and Nathan got the plug pulled. Okay. Some people I forgot I literally forgot. And this tells me I had too many moderators at the time. But again, what I did was go, okay, when I talk about laying things out, when I talk about communication being the key, and rest assured, Skip, exactly what I suggested. You went, this is what I desire. Here's the point of the fact of it. Okay, had you not said that, okay, I know of two people, I can think you being one of them. I know of one other person that also asked me. What am I at? I had another regular ask me about it. And I literally had to go, okay, I just simply have to draw a line and go, there it is. There's the policy. There's the reason for it. I will absolutely defer to the moderators. And this is why, for me, if I look at a corporation, ow, that hurt. If I look at the structure of a corporation, okay, a board of directors is a problem for me. Okay, a board of advisors, this is what my moderators are, is they are a board of advisors. Carl, how are we doing? Glad you could join us. I trust things are going reasonably well for you on your end. So I looked at it and went, okay, I know I require advisors. Absolutely. However, am I of the mindset that I need a whole pile of people to figure out what I'm doing? Heck, I don't know what I'm doing. But when it comes to running your business, running your household, having a list of rules together, and I think that's an idea there. So why don't we do that? I'm thinking one of my moderators here, probably either Storm or Nathan, know how to get a banner up on the video, on the bottom of this video, so we don't have to worry about people going, I didn't know Nathan was talking. Nathan dropped me a line the other day that there is a way to do pre-records that I don't know how to do it yet. Okay, well, that clears that up. Nathan goes, storming, no, it's a YouTube setting. I use StreamYard. And I appreciate that, Nathan. Eventually when I get a better system, I will probably upgrade, but for the moment, this is working fine. This is working well enough. It's not perfect and things are evolving. I was talking about this is why I ended up actually with a minute and a half, minute and 23-second live stream today. Another marketing specialist on the other, another marketing specialist that I was talking to, a client of mine down on the coast. Okay. He ended up suggesting I put shorts up. Well, shorts are great, but I can't do it right now because I don't have a system to do it with yet. But I figure I go live for 5 minutes. It's the same idea. So I gave that a shot today to see what happens. Now, what do we got? Of course, and yes, I am seeing this. Both Skip and Nathan are saying Rumble is another one that's a really good place. I've kept my social media, and the reason I've kept it to a minimum is not because I don't desire to be more active in it, but because I desire to be less confused. And yeah, me and computers, confusion just goes hand in hand. Okay, now, with that in mind, what do I got here? Anything going on that I need to know about? I don't need to know about that. I got some people that pass on information. I'm looking at it going, why pretty are you telling me that? Because I'm not about Toby. What is that? I'm just going to have to wait for that to roll up a fraction. Yeah. And yeah, Nathan's just going, the jump cuts and shorts make my head hurt and anxiety go up. Well, this is why when I went on today, I figured I'll get the point across and go, this is what I'm on today. So I figured just give a quick little blurb. This is where I'm going to be. This is when I'm going live. This is what I'm going live for. And see what happens. We'll give that a shot for a little while, see if it helps. Because like I said, the idea here is to take this stream to a much higher level. Okay. And again, if you're looking for a copy of the newsletter, absolutely drop me a line, ask for it. And I will make certain it gets out to you. Okay. Because what I'm building is going to be, the newsletter itself is already global. So is the line. So Positive and Positive Perks are both all, positive perspectives and positive perceptions are already global. Now, I do eventually desire to get up to a much wider array. Okay. And help a lot more people. This said, those are going to stay free. But the way they're going to stay free is first and foremost, they're going out over the internet. Okay. Secondly, I will be putting them in. I will be advertising the books and the kind of consulting and all of that through the newsletter. Okay. That way I will actually be able to generate an income. At least that's the theory. Joseph, how we doing? I'm sorry you're ill too. Joe's going, sorry, I'm ill. Heliconia mission dealt with toxic plants. Oh. Yeah, and he says, I saw someone wearing a patch. And that's all I was allowed to know. Yeah, I appreciate that there, Joseph. There's a lot of programs out there that are being really, really held tight. Ken, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Hopefully your day is going a little better. You know, I'm thinking we should all really focus on Joseph getting back on his feet. Getting back on his feet and feeling better. I know it helped a lot when you guys were focused on my health and throwing my back, helping me put my back back. So absolutely, Joe, we will. I can only speak for me directly, but I will send what energy I can to help put your system back on track. But thanks so much for dropping in. Yeah. Well, all you do there is say, no, don't. My brain was, I was going to say something that was bound to create a problem. Oh, that unfortunately, Skip, unfortunately, that is a normal problem I have. As near as I can figure, part of it is the age of my computer. But when my brother's estate clears, I will be spending a fair chunk of money to get a state-of-the-art one that has hopefully a booster signal as well. Okay, so I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I've got enough computer people around to make sure I get what I require, because the primary purpose for it will be to keep this stream going and to make it a little bit more active. Make it a little bit more, if you will, fulfilling, enlightening, however you want to put it. Yeah, Nathan, that's what I was thinking. Unfortunately, the network itself, according to what I've discovered, I've got the fastest network available through the company I'm working with. And the only other company, I've worked with them before as well, but they kept shafting me, so I'm not going back to them. So I've got, as far as the network goes, I've got the best network I can get. Okay, if it's network related, that's I've done what I can and I sort of have to work with it. With this in mind, okay, this stream and Positive Perspectives, the newsletter, are being brought more into a balance point. Yeah. Nathan goes, it gets complicated fast. Oh, it starts off complicated and then just goes downhill. Oh, Preacher goes, he lost his internet. He lost his internet for a light. Oh. Okay. Oh, for a bit. There we go. That makes sense. Yeah, and unfortunately, it becomes a major complication. So see the problem I see, and this is why I say communication. Years ago, a friend of mine, hate to be the one to tell you this. Today, no. Right now we have 14 people in the chat room. However, your presence is appreciated. Okay. But no, the gold went, and I have to go way back up here. Who had the gold? All the way back up to the top. And Preacher actually had the gold today. But I am glad Dan, that you decided to take the time to share your time with me. The reality of it is, from my standpoint, what do we got? Oh. Oh, don't you love that? Yeah, see, the neat thing about it, like a friend of mine years ago, and this will tell you how important communication is. A friend of mine, he's got somebody they knows in England, and there was a publishing company whose internal network collapsed. Okay, And the way that they put it, they developed a new form of mail. They called it WASI mail. I mean, let's face it, you know what email is. Obviously, everybody in today's world knows what email is. Really quick, really easy to lose things. Okay. Then you've got snail mail, which people around my age are very familiar with. Okay. Takes a lot longer and can still get lost. Then you've got what this company did was they developed something called WASI mail. Walk and say it. Doesn't take long to get there. Cannot get lost in the process. Okay, but again, this is why I say that we have to slow the speed of things down. Okay, this is why I still work with the physical world with paper and pen a lot of the time. It's why I've gone back to paper and pen in a lot of cases. Oh, speaking of which, I did say that I was going to have something worked out here. I just gotta get at it. Well, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I remember those days there, Skip. I mean, let's skip the old days, the old wartime days that you remember. I remember Rome. Okay. And back then that's all you had was you had your runners. You know, in ancient Greece, they had your marathon runners that took the message by hand. And frankly, it was more accurate, it was more reliable than either the snail mail postal service or email. Now, where am I here? Looking for a small piece of information because I said I was going to be working things out. And what do we got here? This week, today is Wednesday, so that's good. Oh, there we are. Now, right now, we're looking at communication. On Friday, because tomorrow I won't be here. On Friday, we're going to be looking at past and former life, past and, early life skills. How do you re-tap into them? How do you re-access them? Okay. And then on Saturday, we're going to start looking at active memory recall. Again, these are ways of helping bring your body back and bring your life back to you. The fact of the matter is, when you desire, what we got here? Oh, yeah. Ancient Minoan was a lot of fun. You notice, though, there, preacher. I mean, you probably didn't notice it as much as I did. But what I did notice was even the fastest runners that we had couldn't outrun that wave. Would have been nice if some of them could have. But that was a mess. That's sort of one of those little things. And like I said, I'm in the middle of documenting a number of my past lives. Where it comes to communication, if you don't have solid, clear communication, meaning speak in a language that the other person understands. Now, I was still looking into it a little bit. Okay. How you doing, Iowax? I think you were in here a little earlier, but greetings nonetheless. I was looking at it and into it, and I saw a little blurb that I watched, and it was saying, everybody's got these languages they're trying to talk. When you take a look at mathematics, everybody speaks the same language. They may use different sigils for the numbers, but mathematics is a constant. Okay. And as long as you understand the language, all of a sudden you can make pretty good headway. No, he's not in here yet. I'm waiting for somebody to see if somebody does show up here. I was asked, I've been asking, what would you like to see either here or in the newsletter? Which one would you like? What additions or what enhancements would work better or would make things more enjoyable from your guys' standpoint? Okay, I am in the process of writing an article about corporate, about communication and how it affects our society. How can it be turned around and implemented and utilized to make things work better? Yeah. Preacher goes, I sure as heck didn't outrun it. No, but you did provide cushioning for some of the stuff that you hit. I'm not thinking that was a good thing. See, I didn't have to outrun it. I believe the answer is 42. Oh, wait a minute, that was the wrong question. I gotta ask Skip, you say you've got the answer. Absolutely. I do work private meetings in, whether it's, and again, I prefer working video. Okay. But because I've got a problem with my messenger, okay, I can't hear anything on my messenger right now. And that I am pretty certain that Frank will be able to sort out. Oh, that's already in the works there, Storm. Okay. The book of short stories is literally already one of the books I'm working on. The other one that covers some of it is this series here. Okay. Because Jeremiah, if you take Jeremiah, he's the one he is actually the character I personally built. Okay. Jeremiah is the one I actually built. But by many different names, he comes in on all of the books. That actually makes total sense. Let me just put that back where it belongs. And this is why I've got this little pad here. Storm's just going, where we go with the past lives, past life preview in each of the monthly newsletters. Because nice thing is going electronic, I don't have a size limit. Now, yes, I did notice that, Skip. Skip's gone inventions. Now, I will tell you, I can about them. I do not have a technical background. That's where Nathan comes in. He's got the technical background. I don't know how many other people have it. I know what the things do. There's no way I can replicate them yet. Although I have somebody researching some material for me to build a Mercalcan amplinet. Okay, which it is literally an amplifier for psychic ability. Now, am I going to sell it on the open market before I test it? Not a prayer. Okay, I've got the schematics here, and on paper for that matter. Okay, but they're written in my method. So, will I have it built? Yes, I've already got somebody looking into the information for me on what I already know I require. But to say that a Mercalcan amplinet is a toy, it's kind of like telling people, take a bottle of nitroglycerin, go out and have a blast. I mean, it'll work. You'll have a blast. Bad idea. Okay. Now, one thing I can tell you with many of the lifetimes, there are a few lifetimes I will not touch. Okay. But most of the lifetimes I've gone through, I don't have a problem listening to people. But there's only 3 or 4 lifetimes that I've had that I will not talk to people about. If they recognize me from a lifetime, then I don't have a problem with it. I will absolutely, if somebody approaches me and says, I think I remember you from this point, from this place. Okay. If they approach me and go, I think this is what I've seen. If it coincides with what I know, then yes, I will absolutely corroborate it. Okay. And that, by the way, guys, applies to the people in this chat room as well. Okay. If somebody comes into the chat room going, I think I know you from a past life. If you can give me something to work with that I can corroborate myself, okay, then I will absolutely corroborate it and back it up. If it goes against what I know, like for instance, okay, if somebody tells me they know I was Attila the Hun, I'll tell you flat out their memory is wrong. I was never Attila the Hun. There was only one person that was ever Attila the Hun. Okay, now did I run with him? Absolutely. But was I him? No. Run with Genghis Khan. Actually, I think he ran with Genghis Khan, but you get the idea. You might. Okay, but again, from his statement, he was not Genghis Khan himself. He simply was there when Genghis was. Now, again, it boils down to communication. And the more open we are, the more honest we are with each other, the easier it's going to be to turn this world around in a proper fashion. Steve, in all honesty, they've never said anything about it. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to have to go with no. But that being said, I just don't have a solid answer for you. They've never said anything, so I've got nothing solid to work with. Wouldn't surprise me, but at this point, I got nothing corroborated. I remember my last lifetime. That was volatile. Okay, that was something I was going to tell you. I don't remember which one of these it's in. Okay, I don't remember if it's in Birth of the Wolf Pack, or oh, I'm glad you like it there, Joe. I don't know which of the series it's in, but there was a past life I had working with the Roman Legion. Oh, heavens. Let me put it this way, Ken. My last lifetime, I grew up and literally, I was born in 1898. Okay, in Chicago, in Chicago, Illinois. By the time I was 16, I had an aggressive list of charges of assault and battery, assault with intent to kill. Okay, I was listed a mile long. So of course, at 16 years old, at 16 years old, I got arrested, and I told the cops. They said, I was 16, and they went to put me in the jail. Before I went to court or anything, they were just going to lock me up in jail. And I turned around, and I looked at the cops, and I literally pled with them. You don't want me in that jail cell. Don't put me in with those people. Okay. Bear in mind, there were 7 other people in that room, in that cell. Right. And I'm standing there in the cell because they said, look, you broke the law, you're going into jail. Until your court appearance, you're in that jail. Quit whining about it. You're being put in there because you broke the law. I said, but you don't want me in there. Don't put me in with those people. Well, they did put me in there, understandably. The next morning, the cops come down. I'm sitting there on the bench, and I've got 7 bodies in the room. Right. And they looked at me and the cop looks at me and goes, "What happened?" I said, "They were a-holes." And he goes, the captain looks at me and goes, "You killed them because they were a-holes?" I said, "I didn't kill them at all." Right. And the cop looks at me and goes, "These people are all dead. You're the only one in here." I didn't kill him. Well, this guy's had his arm torn off. Okay, that I did. I did tear his arm off right out of the socket. Absolutely, that I did. But I didn't kill him. Right? When I let go of his arm, he was still breathing. So I didn't kill him to death. See, I told you I didn't kill him. And this was just my way of rationalizing it. I mean, there is no question. Yeah, Storm, I get a kick out of that. Storm goes, in this lifetime, I'm not the good guy. I'm the bad guy. I'm the necessary guy. Being the necessary guy does not make you a bad guy. Okay? You just happen to be one of these people that's capable of doing what's necessary. Yeah, preacher goes, the only reason I didn't end up in jail was the chief of police was ex-Navy and was already in a delayed entry program. I mean, when I was back then, 16 years old, and they put me in jail, and it's like, I didn't kill them. Yeah, they're dead. Yeah, they bled to death, but they were a-holes, so that's okay. But instead of going to prison, the American military picked me up and pulled me out and then turned around and educated me. I was directly involved in developing mustard gas. I cannot tell you, I wasn't a lead scientist. So no, I'm not one of these, oh, I used to be so and so who invented mustard gas. I was involved in the work that was set up to do it. Okay. But I was until the very end of my life, I was always in trouble. Somebody was always going out a window, primarily because I just didn't want to deal with them walking into the door. Yeah, preacher's going like the Agent Serenity. He had a job to do no matter what. Absolutely. And the reality is, Storm has done so much for me in the computers, in my own life. To heck with the computers. There is no functional way to balance it that I'm aware of. Yeah. LA goes, I will remind everyone here not to have an illusion of privacy here. Guard your privacy. And that I agree with wholeheartedly, LA. People that think that everything is absolutely contained in this chat room, as far as the people in here, we control it as best we can. Okay, in order to keep this place as safe as possible. But you can bet your bottom dollar these and the chat rooms are being watched. Okay, and realistically, given the way the world has deteriorated, it's not a bad thing. It's a bad thing for people that are doing things wrong. Now, this lifetime, I frankly don't know one chemical from the next to speak of. Okay, and thankfully they don't you can't get arrested for something you did in another life. Because I'll tell you, I had some lifetimes that were, shall we say, not great. But again, it boils down to solid communication. Now, where did I put it? Yeah, those would work. I'm in the middle of putting March's newsletter together. The one nice thing about this particular community is the amount of support that I see with people. That I see people giving each other. It's absolutely remarkable. And the reality behind it is this is a microcosm of the world that's out there. And this is why I say that we can absolutely turn this world around. It's going to take effort. Okay, it's going to take a lot of work. Yeah. LA goes, I'm sorry to have to do this, but I too am the necessary guy. Well, yeah, hate to tell you this, LA. Really hate to be the one to pop your bubble. I will grant you, you're definitely one of the necessary ladies, but you're certainly not a necessary guy. Ultimately, yeah, Ken, it really is. With a bunch of people that if you have a problem in this chat room, seems to jump up and say, okay, let's see what we can do about this. You know, so things are. Yeah, you know, Joe, the reality is this lifetime, I've never gotten so much as a speeding ticket. And I intend to keep it that way, by the way. You know, Lord knows I haven't always done things the right way. But I remember when I was younger, I used to drive with lead foot. One of the best or one of the worst, depending on how you look at it. I was going through a small town. Now the speed limit in the town was 30 miles an hour or 50 kilometers, depending on which side of the border you're on. Okay. I went through the town at just shy of 100 miles an hour. Okay. And I got away. I did get pulled over for speeding, but I got off with a verbal warning. Kate, I don't know if I saw your question. I'm just scared. Well, I know I obviously missed it. Kate, how about save me a whole lot of usually ineffective hunting? And would you be kind enough, Kate, to repost your question? I'll keep an eye open for it. No, I would not call me a goody two shoes. You know, I mean, granted, the reality is, Ken, I actually try literally by the karmic laws. I do unto people as I desire them to do unto me. Now, if that makes me in people's eyes a goody two shoes, I used to get called that when I was in high school. Oh, Storm, thank you so much. That would explain why I can't find it. You know, when I was in high school, okay, and in elementary school for that matter, I was always called a goody two shoes. And you know, preacher, honestly, I agree with it. I'm also a firm believer that if you're driving a semi and you're tailgating, you should have your license yanked, not suspended. And I mean, in any country, you should have your license yanked because a semi is never going to stop if it's tailgating. It hasn't got a prayer of stopping before it kills somebody. You know, but I absolutely agree. Cutting through that town, I didn't see the speed limit. Ignorance is no excuse. I'm no better than anybody else. How I got off with a verbal warning, I have no clue. Okay, I do know the next time coming through the same town, I was aware of the problem, and I got right down to the speed limit, right on the money. And the cop pulls me over again. And I looked at him and I said, you know, I will get to that in 10 seconds, okay? You know, I asked the cop, why did you pull me over? I know I wasn't doing anything wrong. He said, no. He said, I know you didn't do anything wrong. He said, I just wanted to stop and say thank you for slowing down coming through. He said, I recognized your vehicle. I just wanted to be, I just wanted to make certain of it. I just want to make certain you knew I was appreciative of it. Now, Kate is going the phrase, I must have done something bad in a past life. Have merit to our, in the past life, to have it in our current life. Here's the thing. Your past life does have a direct impact. Okay. Your past lives do have a direct impact on this one. Okay. And it may not even be your immediate past life. I came back this lifetime because of something at the end of it. Okay. But here's the way this particular life is working. Okay. Every lifetime you build up karma or dharma. Karma being the bad side. Dharma apparently is what people call the good life, the good karma. But every life, when you come in with a certain amount of wisdom to a certain number of things that you desire to gain wisdom around. This life is special. Because on top of that, this lifetime, because it's a millennium jumper, you were born in the 19th century, or the 20th century, you're now in the 21st. Because it jumps the millennium, okay, what happens is it goes back and looks at the last 1,000 years, and takes all the loose ends, and goes, okay, let's bring those forward. This lifetime, you get to tie off your last 1,000 years. Okay, you also get to set the stage for your next 1,000 years. So, yeah, you may well have done something in a past life. And this is the side effect. Okay, this may be part of it. It may just be you came here to gain this kind of wisdom in the first place. I know why I'm here. Okay, this lifetime I know exactly what I'm here for. And this is why I'm doing what I can. And there's a couple of people that do know. There are a few people that know exactly why I'm here. And, frankly, what I'm up to. Whether or not I manage on my focus that I can get from you guys to spread things out. Taking the newsletter, and I'm still debating what size, how many pages a newsletter has to get to. I wonder if that will tell me that. Let us see. I'm thinking it may just be whatever you call it. Okay. Whereas the minimum number of pages in a magazine, the minimum number of magazine should probably aim for at least 5 pages to 10 pages, however. Okay, that answers that. Because to me, it sounds much better to call it a magazine, and I am starting to enhance things with it. Now, where do we go here? Go back to that. Yeah. Preacher goes, I loved Cloud Atlas as it showed some souls evolved and some, like the Hugh Grant character, were headed the other direction. I'll tell you, I've been to hell. It's a wonderful place to hang around. And I've been given authorization to tell you this because you're not going to remember it when you die anyway. But you're told that you're stuck in hell for eternity. This is not entirely accurate. Once you remember that you've got the free will to walk out of hell, okay, once you remember that, you're able to walk out. Same as heaven. You're not trapped up there either. Okay. But when you get down there, I'll tell you, the pain they inflict on you, that can be really distracting for realizing you don't have to suffer anymore. You're the one that gets to choose. But here, you have free will, free choice. What you don't have is freedom from consequence. And nobody has it, God himself included, or Allah, or Shiva, or whoever you want to call. Okay, they're all tied to the same venue. Where it comes to, and I am going to take you guys up on it, okay, as was just suggested, putting little short blurbs about past lives. I can do that easy enough. I presume that should probably go under the paranormal section. Okay, because I am looking at, depending, it'll either be under the paranormal. Yeah, that's the best place for it. Because I've got the paranormal, the entertainment, the alien, the career, and the economics. Okay, as far as sections in the magazine go. Okay, so with that in mind, will I add those? Absolutely. Because it's now time to start expanding things, which is why I spent so much time working on it today. And you'll be happy to know, well, maybe you won't be. I am. I finally got back into moving forward with Return to Paradise, the third novel in the series. Oh, Skip, absolutely. Absolutely, Skip. You take care, and we will happily see you soon. Yeah, I would suspect I'm probably going to be laying down after I get done this stream. Of course, in all fairness, where are we here? We are at 6:10 right now. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, in all fairness, I've been up right now. I've been up 15 hours straight. Something to do with the fact I got up at 1 o'clock this morning. So, yeah, I can understand why I may be a little off kilter on my time frames. But the reality of communication is that you've got to be straightforward and absolutely direct. Be as polite as you can be. I don't worry about the being politically correct thing. Okay. It's just one of those things that seems to be counterproductive. But, again, yeah, again, if you're looking for a copy of the newsletter, absolutely drop me a line. Yeah, let's see if I can find what I'm looking for here. Grab that. That was just wrong. There we go. This is the email that works. Okay, and this here is the web page that tells you about the different books I've written. And again, the email is the same one that I use for both my email contact and PayPal. Okay, but where it comes to the communication lines, absolutely, it's time to really get clear in your own head. What are you aiming for? We are up to a nice number of 16 people in the chat right now. Okay, right now we're sitting nicely. I would love to see it come up a little higher. Okay, but where am I? We click there, and we have refresh. That way I can see if we're still saying at the same number. We are getting very close to breaking the 6. Right now we are seeing static. Mind you, we usually do. Okay, but again, the reason I share the other streams is because that is how we work together. Because, like I said, it really boils down to this. I desire to build an empire where literally 80% of my net profit is going back out to the community, to people that are buying the products, people that are getting consulting, people that are helping me build things, whatever. It's all going back. Well, 80% of the net profit, meaning karmic law number one, be true to yourself first. I'm making absolutely certain I don't hang myself out to dry in the process. Okay, one thing I can say with absolute certainty, as it stands right now, I cannot see the point in ever charging for the magazine, because the magazine is my way of doing advertising. I won't be doing it the other way. Okay, it just doesn't add up. But something else to consider. Okay, and I will be talking about this at a future date. There are tricks if you run a restaurant. Okay, a restaurant or a bar. There are ways of enhancing the productivity levels of your staff beyond just going, oh, I'm going to pay you $30 an hour. Raising the minimum wage has never prompted people to work more. It's never worked that way. However, what it has done is made people think they can put in less work and get more money. Okay, I work on a piece by piece level. The more help somebody gives me, world, I did not see you come in. Glad you could join us. Let me just grab something here. I gotta go here and find World. Here we are. This is World Bigfoot's live stream. Absolutely, drop in, give him a listen. Give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, give him a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of the thing. That would be really appreciated. Unfortunately, in their world, I got set up to watch. The reality of it is, I fell asleep extremely early last night or the night before, one of the two. But I've ended up falling asleep around 8:30, and then get really sidetracked. Today, it's on my list of what I've got to get to. It's literally on my list of things to do. I just haven't quite got that far down the list yet. But it's one of those things I really have to take a look at. But last night I passed out at somewhere between 8 and 8:30. Of course, I was up at 1 o'clock this morning, so that worked out well. But no, it's literally, where is it? I don't expect you to be able to read it, but it's literally on this list. Okay, but I'm only about 2/3 of the way down it. I did. Now I don't remember World. What do we got? Oh, that ought to be entertaining. Yeah. I gotta show you something here, World. Hopefully it's right. There it is. With the Yldrbac Chronicles. Okay, I went a little overboard in certain things. This set of dice, I don't have many left. The pricey is all get out, in all fairness. But these are custom boxes. Okay. And they were literally made for the Yldrbac Chronicles. Whoop. as you can see, somebody told me one day stepping on a Lego is the most painful thing to have happen. And, I'm thinking a four-sided die is much more painful. But these dice, this was done, and this is custom made. I've only got a few of them left, but I will caution you, they are a little on the pricey side because they were custom made. Yeah, those ones they're done limited edition. Yeah, Storm goes. I've been playing since 1979. I only got a few years on you. I started in 76. Oh yeah, and you notice, Storm, with this one here, and you can't really see it. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can show you anyway, though. For those of you that haven't. Okay, plug those so I don't have to worry about it. Okay. Now, the funny thing is, these little guys, this four-sided die, you can't really see it too terribly well, but it's got a rounded tip. The corners are rounded. I got hard plastic ones that are sharp as all get out and can punch a hole. But I turned around. There was actually a complete set of those made. And as it turns out, most of them didn't go where they were supposed to because the people never got back to me. What do we got? What do we got here? Oh, there we go. World goes. Four-sided dice are called Tetsubishi by the ninja. Also known as painful as all get out. Yeah. They go, step on one and all will be clear. Yeah, absolutely. That sounds absolutely depressing there, Will. Of course, I don't like chocolate or mint, so that might explain that. Well, that's not entirely true. I like candy canes. I don't like chocolate. Yeah, it's funny. My game master actually wanted to play Shadowrun, only I couldn't get my brain to wrap around the different system. So he modified the whole system, found a way to balance it out. We are playing Shadowrun using D&D rules. Works out really well for me. I know a lot of people are like, but I did find out, a friend of mine actually told me flat out, what the heck is all this garbage? That can go away. Thank you. Had a pop up in the middle of my screen. I couldn't see a thing. Now, a friend of mine told me flat out, he goes, you don't like dark chocolate because it tastes like cardboard. And for me, it really does. Cardboard or paste, I'm not sure which. Right. White chocolate, I'm a little bit more functional with. See, I'm a bit bland on that one. I prefer strawberry ice cream. I do like, however, butterscotch or caramel. Buttered pecan, I find, is way too sweet. Talk about going a little bit off the beaten path, but hey, what the heck? That happens here. Matter of fact, it's almost encouraged to happen here. But where are we? Oh, right there. Okay. Why doesn't that surprise me there, world? Yeah, I understand that all sorts of things are changing there. I'm still very much. Oh, nice. See, I'm still very much a bit of a dinosaur. I don't change well, so we're still, with all the advances and now working with 5e, I don't play online D&D at all. I've looked at it a couple of times, but number one, my computer wouldn't handle it. But I don't play online D&D. I still play tabletop, but even with tabletop evolving to 5e, we're still working with second and third edition. But we've really done a hodgepodge on it, but it works for us and really has worked well for the idea of letting the imagination do it well. And again, that's the other thing with the whole idea of communication. If you're working with your imagination, you can come up with all kinds of neat little twists. Okay. And that's where things are standing right now. With that in mind, guys, we are currently sitting at 596 subscribers. Okay. I'm going to ask you directly. I've done it before and I'm going to do it again. Absolutely. Spread the word. I am looking for a higher subscription level. Okay. Also, where it comes to the magazine, absolutely spread the word that it is available, that it is 100% free. Okay. Even with my YouTube channel, with this stream, with Positive Perceptions, I'm not about to start charging for the archives. Okay. I'm about to start adding to them, but I'm not about to start charging for them. Okay. But I really do want to say thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Very much appreciated. I'll tell you, the support I get here is absolutely mind-boggling to me. Now, with that in mind, I will be back again on Friday. Not today. Or not tomorrow, rather. On Friday, I will be back again. Okay. Until then, do take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.